Carl Jung's assertion, "I must also have a dark side if I am to be whole," encapsulates a profound truth about human psychology. At the heart of this statement lies Jung's concept of the shadow, the repressed, often denied aspects of the self that society deems unacceptable. This analysis explores how the shadow shapes human behavior, arguing that its integration is vital for psychological wholeness. By examining the consequences of shadow repression, the process of individuation and societal implications, we uncover the necessity of embracing our dark side to foster authentic living and societal harmony. Jung's shadow represents the unconscious repository of traits, desires, and impulses rejected by the conscious mind. Formed through societal conditioning and personal experiences, the shadow encompasses not only destructive tendencies like aggression or envy but also suppressed creativity and vitality. For instance, a person raised to equate anger with weakness might relegate their assertiveness to the shadow, losing access to healthy boundary setting. Jung emphasized that the shadow is not inherently evil but a natural aspect of the psyche. Its contents are often moral paradoxes, qualities that, while socially condemned, can be transformative when acknowledged. When individuals disown their shadow, they fragment their psyche, leading to psychological and behavioral dissonance. Repression manifests in two primary ways: projection and neurosis. Projection involves attributing one's disowned traits to others, fostering prejudice and conflict. For example, a person denying their own selfishness may vilify others as greedy, fueling interpersonal strife. Neurosis arises from the energy expended to suppress the shadow, resulting in anxiety, depression, or compulsive behaviors. Consider the perfect colleague whose repressed imperfections erupt in passive aggressiveness, a classic shadow outburst. Moreover, the shadow can dominate unconsciously, leading to self-sabotage. An individual who denies their ambition might undermine their success, trapped in a cycle of unfulfilled potential. Jung warned that the unrecognized shadow becomes a hidden foe, steering behavior from the shadows of the unconscious. Integration of the shadow initiates individuation, Jung's term for the journey toward self-realization. This process involves confronting the shadow through introspection, art, or therapy, transforming darkness into self-awareness. For instance, a person acknowledging their latent anger might channel it into advocacy, turning a suppressed emotion into a force for justice. Integration does not condone harmful behavior but contextualizes it, allowing individuals to respond consciously rather than react impulsively. Individuation fosters emotional resilience and creativity. By embracing their shadow, individuals reclaim disowned strengths. A timid person might discover assertiveness, enriching their relationships. Jungian analyst Robert A. Johnson likens the shadow to a treasure guardian. Confronting it unlocks vitality previously wasted on repression. This synthesis of light and dark aligns with Jung's view of the self as a harmonious totality, transcending moral binaries. Unintegrated shadows permeate relationships, breeding conflict and misunderstanding. Partners projecting their insecurities onto each other often engage in toxic cycles of blame. Conversely, shadow awareness cultivates empathy. Recognizing one's flaws in others, a process Jung termed seeing through the shadow, dissolves judgment, fostering compassion. For example, a parent confronting their own rigidity may approach a rebellious child with patience rather than anger. Collectively, groups project shadows onto marginalized communities, scapegoating them for societal ills. Historical atrocities like witch hunts or racism exemplify the collective shadow's destructive potential. Conversely, communities acknowledging their shadow, such as nations confronting past injustices, pave the way for reconciliation and growth. Societies, like individuals, possess collective shadows, unspoken norms or systemic injustices. Environmental exploitation, for instance, reflects a societal shadow prioritizing progress over sustainability. Addressing such issues requires collective shadow work, acknowledging complicity and redefining values. Movements like #MeToo demonstrate this, challenging systemic denial of gender-based violence. By integrating the collective shadow, societies move toward equity and ethical coherence. Jung's insight underscores that wholeness arises not from perfection but from embracing the full spectrum of our humanity. The shadow, when integrated, ceases to be an adversary and becomes a wellspring of growth. Individually, this leads to authentic self-expression. Collectively, it fosters societal healing. In a world often divided by projection and denial, Jung's wisdom reminds us that true harmony begins within, by daring to confront our own darkness. As we navigate this lifelong journey, we discover that the shadow, far from a foe, is an essential guide to becoming whole.